Man, in 2 years, and first 2 years I had to pay for everything.
And we're on, and we're going. There we go. Alan, after 4 years of complaining that I've got to pay for everything. No,
I
Alan.
was celebrating the fact that I haven't had to pay for a couple of years.
That's right. A couple of years haven't had to pay. Got a couple, and we've had people come in and bring some charcuterie. We've had people bringing in bourbon. We've had people making our own old fashions or his own old fashions for us.
That was nice.
So, you're getting bennies all over the place, man. Pretty soon,
I should be a lot more grateful, shouldn't I?
Yeah. You know what? You should be. You know what? In fact, that's exactly what my scheduler said at the office before I left.
Alan's just such a little bitch.
No, what she said was that our employees, she goes, you know what? I think next word of the year should be grateful because these guys are ingrates.
Damn.
All right, man, we gotta have some fun. I've been looking forward to this one. You have been looking forward to this one. We have an Atlanta legend. He doesn't want to hear it, but he is. He doesn't even think he is. He's like, I've been around for a little while.
He doesn't have the vanity plate on his truck. I didn't notice that coming. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
That's his tag right there. We got Southside Steve. So this guy, I moved to Atlanta in 2001. I started listening to this show called The Regular Guys, and we'll get into all that in a minute. And they had this guy come on, and always said, yeah, come on, guy. And they would always make him go out and do stupid stuff.
Oh my God.
And he'd come in, and then he'd tell him what he was doing. They were doing things. I'm like, they can't do that. I mean, Howard Stern doesn't do that. Did they just do that on radio? They did just do that on radio. So
it was like they got together, like, what can we make Steve do? And then he would just do it.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is scary when you're that guy. Yeah, it's like, hey, let's just have you smell things. We'll call it Smell It Steve, and then you don't have to smell anything gross unless you can't. It's a spelling bee. That's it. We're going to give you a word to spell, and if you can't spell it, you have to smell something. And these are your choices.
I remember that one too.
That's horrible. Here's a dead rodent, Tim Andrews, somebody's belly button that doesn't shower regularly. I mean, it was this, and that was Shoot Steve was the worst. I don't think you can do that now. They'd shoot me with a BB gun.
If you got something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then they pump it based on every time you missed one, you got another pump. And if you get up 10 pumps, supposedly it was like a 22. And I had to dig one out one time and go get a tetanus shot.
So all that time too, I thought just bits. I just thought you're on the radio. There's no way they're really shooting the guy. We met Steve at a party, and then I find out, oh no, it was all true. All that and then some. I'm like, oh my Lord.
Now there are morning shows, and I'll tell you in radio, and I don't know about podcasts. Anything on camera, you have to really do it. But when you're not on camera, you don't. None of us were on camera in the 90s and the early 2000s. But for us, we're like, no, we're not doing anything fake. It has to be real. So there were nights where, I would just, I couldn't get audio. I couldn't get what we were looking for. Nobody went to the bathroom for In My Stall. And I went to 3 locations. It's like nobody was going to that night. So you give up, because God forbid me fake it, And so it was all real. Everything, talking with the homeless, messing with the homeless, doing anything we did in the studio had to be real. Everything you heard was true, 100%. And I don't know a morning show like that other than maybe Opie and Anthony and Stern, especially when they started filming. But that's the deal. And now, there's shows out there that everything's fake, but there's only one person in the studio. They're doing it from their home. Now podcasts have become a pretty big deal.
Yeah. So this is a not fake podcast. We do it all.
This is real.
We're just the real deal. We've got Southside Steve Rickman. But what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk a little bit about his background, and then we're going to get into his arc into getting into entrepreneurial world. So this is going to be a lot of fun because this is a lot different journey than a lot of us, but it's also got a lot of the same similar stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're both very successful business people. I had you on my podcast. I love a good small business and somebody that's doing that. So is that really the niche you're trying to see what people are doing out there? So it's very centered around business or people that are just trying to do what they want to do.
So more about, trying to be successful at small business, because as we all know, 9 out of 10 of them fail within the first year. And what we're trying to do is help anybody who's thinking about starting one or I'm in one. Let's not fail. Let's not F it up like Chris did, and get to after 17 years, actually still letting people go and having a bad time.
You're almost there, Chris. Keep going.
I'm going to keep going.
Don't give up, Chris, because I got to tell you, you're doing something right, because I had to basically be checked. They did an anal check too. It was crazy at the front gate. They're like, bend over. I'm like, and cough. I'm like, what do you think I'm bringing into this lovely subdivision? And the woman's like, I need to see your ID. Do you have a passport? Where are you going?
I know which guard it is.
Yes, she is.
She's
You got-
That's
intense.
Al's
You got
girlfriend.
serious. Yeah, that's right.
She is way serious. She goes, again, where are you going? And wanted me to repeat it. I said, I don't have it memorized, but here it is. And I showed her the information. I gave her my license. And then finally I was cleared in. And then Chris tells me, do not park in the driveway. It's for home ownership only. Find a spot on the street and don't talk to any of my neighbors. And that's what I did. And here I am.
So
So you're doing something right.
So there you go. So now you know
Don't
exactly.
you feel lucky to be here, Steve?
Oh my God, yes. I've never been invited into subdivision. It was a podcast that got me in.
Hey, in 4 years, maybe you might get an invite on the golf course with Chris.
You know,
you
You
never
and me,
know.
Steve, we're gonna go play golf, and we're gonna let Alan come caddy for us.
You don't play?
He does play, but I never invited him on the course with me.
No, it's kind
But
of,
it's
kind of
been a
thing. I
strength.
have played his course at least 10 times.
But never with Chris.
Never with Chris.
And you guys, Alan and Chris here, you're celebrating your 4-year anniversary of a podcast. I'm so happy to be here for your birthday of your podcast. I guess that's what it is, anniversary, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Way to go, 4 years doing it.
Yeah.
And you got a sponsor.
We get a
We've
sponsor.
got to sponsor everybody.
All
All
right.
the applicants, very excited about pushing them and talking about things. You guys will hear them in the role. They helped me with my hiring. And they said, we want to make sure we can get our name out to your audience because we listen to you guys and we like what we're hearing and
Well,
we
give
think
them a
that
shout
you-
out.
Yeah, what was the name again? I need to know. Maybe I need them.
You do, qualified applicants.
Okay.
Megan and Tina are running a great recruiting shop over there because
Hmm.
they attack recruiting like marketing, not
Okay.
like recruiting. So they're looking for people to help you, but they're marketing your business and your culture and then helping to screen, profile, and then present good candidates for whatever, role. Everything from handyman all the way up to my general managers have been hired through them. And they've done a great job where a lot of people in the past I've tried, didn't work. I've done it on my own, didn't work. These guys have done a great job. So that's qualifiedapplicants.com. Big shout out.
Look
So-
at that.
How about that? All right, let's keep going. All right. Do we
You're,
want-
you're a natural.
Yeah, I like
It
that.
really is.
You know what? I was built for the radio.
God knows.
No, here we go. All right, so Steve, when you came out of high school, you said, I'm gonna go be the flunky at a radio station and work my way up. Is that what your plan was?
No, I never even thought of radio. I was the guy because, you know, you're the clown in class, and it was me and another guy that were probably considered to be the funny guys in school. And it was always acting or stand-up. So coming out, I got a job. I was doing some acting and trying out for roles, movies, Invasion USA with Chuck Norris was here. I had a speaking role in that. And then because there were no cell phones, they changed the date and they tried to get a hold of me and couldn't. And then they got a hold of my girlfriend's mom because I gave them every number I could think of. And when I showed up, she goes, "You need to leave. They want you on the set." When I got there, the scene had been shot. I missed out on my talking role with Chuck Norris. That one hurt. I was a 19-year-old kid. So comedy, I always thought about doing stand-up. So when I decided to go into college at Georgia State, that's kind of what I did. I got on the radio there just to get used to being on a microphone. That was it. And also I was playing soccer at a high level. So I had scholarship offers and I stayed behind for the girlfriend who was the hottest girl in our high school. And it took me until the summer of my senior year to land it. And I had to go against the big jock that had the 4-year scholarship to Tennessee in the 9th grade. And we had a showdown where it was going to be me fighting him because he said he was going to beat me up at school. And I'm like, no, you're going to beat me up in your front yard. I'm not getting expelled, nor am I getting embarrassed. So I knocked on his front yard with a little Jack Daniels. And he came to the door and I said, I heard you wanted to beat me up. Here I stand. And the guy backed down.
All right.
That's the only reason I'm here today. He would
Soccer
have
player.
killed me, but I had a Leatherman in the back. I was going to hit him with that. Not the knife thing, but just that little hunk of metal on a piece. I had some bad friends who are like, you might want to hit him with this if it gets ugly. I'm like, what is this? And they showed me how to use it. And I'm like, fine. But you're right. So I do all that. I play sports and I took on jobs, you know, whatever it took to pay the bills. Bartending. I bartended at the top nightclub. So I was making good cash there. Lived in Buckhead like everybody else, paying the bills, going to Georgia State. And then I started working for an ad agency. That's how I got into radio. One of my voice talents didn't show up at 96 Rock. So I had a script for a bungee jump client where everybody was bungee jumping and we had somebody to scream, somebody to talk. I hired him, the dude doesn't show. And they're like, I said, I'll do it. So I said, what voice do you think? And I did like 6 voices and they go, no, that's great, do that. And it thought, wow. So he goes, have you ever thought about being in radio? I go, well, I'm on the air at 88.5, Georgia State. He goes, give me your tapes. Next thing I know, I'm doing weekends on 96 Rock. I have a business background. So I was the right person to be a producer for Christopher Root and the Wake Up Crew in '95, and I never looked back.
So that was your path in.
That's it.
Just absolutely.
Did you ever do
great.
stand-up? Did you ever?
I do it now on any type of promotion. I've done it before. I've done it at the Punchline, just playing around. What I do is there's late nights, like when we got blown out at 96 Rock when they flipped it to Project 961. I'm good friends with Ron White. So Ron goes, all right, Southside, I'm gonna go down there and practice some material. Why don't you bring me on stage, and whatever money we make, we'll give it to your fund, you. And I said, okay. So I opened up for Ron. I've opened up for a few people at the Fox. So I go out and do 5-10 minutes. I can make observation. Usually it's picking on somebody in the audience or a situation. So I kind of improv it. I've taken a lot of improv classes, and that's my ability.
No pressure leading for Ron White.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
No, George Carlin was the other one. I went out for 10 minutes for George Carlin at the Fox, and I was back with George, and the best one of all, Charlie Sheen on his Blood tour. I interviewed him, and he was going to the Fox, and they call me and go, we want you to open it up and bring on Charlie Sheen and do about 20 minutes. I said, hell yeah. Next thing you know, and I'm living in Castleberry downtown in the Loft District. I got 2 5'11" and 46 outside the house interviewing me. And, I go down to the Fox and hang out with Charlie for about 2 hours backstage, and his big burly protection guy. I don't know who he was. People told me he's been in movies. He just looked big as hell. And we just hung out. And I realized then Charlie is totally crazy. He can be normal, but I've interviewed him a couple times and been around him. So we're kind of even on a first name basis. I don't know if he'd remember me now, but I did his Blood tour. So him, George Carlin, and Ron White are the people I've brought on stage and done.
I think if I had to rank them though, at the time, I'd say probably Carlin would be the biggest of the three.
Oh God, yeah.
Right?
100%.
Yeah, he's Mount Rushmore. I think.
Yeah. I mean, I love Ron White. I've been to a number of his stand-ups, which he's amazing.
But he's just filthy. He's easy.
Yeah.
That's the easiest comedy, I think, is just talk about one of your many ex-wives. That's entertainment.
It's easy. It's easy.
But George Carlin got deep. He was political, and some of the things that guy has said are now coming true. He was pretty spy. He was an intelligent man with his own style.
All right, so man, so you're hitting the high life. You are on your way. You're thinking, man, I'm gonna be national here pretty soon.
There were a couple opportunities. You're right. If I had gone out to California, I knew Jimmy Kimmel early, and I knew Adam Carolla before they started the Man Show, and Jimmy was doing Win Ben Stein's Money. And we were all out in Miami together for about 10 days and around Ben Stein, and he was the one paying for all our bills. And there was a chance to go out there. They'd just gotten done with K-Rock. Who knew that Jimmy would get the Tonight Show, and Adam Carolla would go on to be one of the biggest podcasters next to Joe Rogan,
And us, of course.
And us.
Small Business Affair, and the Yeah Come On podcast.
Thank you very much. The Yeah Come On Show podcast. Please God, like it on YouTube. I don't know about y'all, but I don't mind begging. I'm like, I just need the likes. I get
Alan doesn't like it when I beg.
Yeah, whenever he begs, I'm like, come on.
This is not the way.
these are cheers. What else do these people have to do? Just like it and help me.
Help me.
Help
Yeah
me.
Come On Show, the Small Business Party.
Yeah.
We're going after Adam Carolla. I used to say Smartless, but let's go.
Yeah, Adam and Jimmy are polarized now. And it's like, I've been in the green room there. And what it was a moment in time. And it's because the regular guys introduced me to them because they had been in LA and they knew them. And then they were out, and then the guys kept coming on our show. We got to know them, and we would do the invites, and then we all agreed to meet different places. So I hung out with Jimmy, God, for probably the first 5 or 6 years of the regular guys from 98, 2003, 4, and went and saw a show a few times.
All right.
Now they changed.
Yeah.
Jimmy's changed a little bit from the Man Show.
Oh, you think?
Yeah. I'm like, he would have canceled himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have hated himself.
Right.
And Adam's still the same dude.
Exactly.
But basically, the stories I can tell you, it's like having a Smokey in the Bandit bar that I had because I had this vision, because I saw the movie being filmed off Terra Boulevard and in that area, and also right at our church where the jump was. I saw the scene with Jackie Gleason talking to the 2 officers. Jackie talked to us. There was only about 9 or 10 people there. And I was one of them, and it just imprinted on me. So then you open a bar and you do things, but then I got a chance to meet Burt Reynolds, or you watch these movies and you're like, oh my God, I've interviewed Kevin Costner twice now, and you're just, and so it's weird. That's the weird thing about radio, being in a major market, the big names come through and they have to push their projects.
All right. So let's fast forward to the end of the regular guys. And I think, again, you talked about how romantic it was. For a lot of us who never were in that stuff. And you know, me, Charlie Sheen and George Carlin and Ron.
2 days a week, somebody was famous coming in, or a comedian every Friday for the punchline. It was just, yeah, unbelievable.
You'd say, well, why would I go start my own business when I've got this fame right at my fingertips? Well, you know, one of the things I think you mentioned, and I never thought about this, is that it started to get really corporate in the 2000s.
Corporate America reared its ugly head.
And
Ruined it.
and-
Ruined it.
bought you guys and then started putting all kinds of rules on you, and then you became the guy in the cubicle.
Yeah.
The guy actually punching the computer. So everybody can relate to this one, right? If you've ever been in the corporate world, the guy sitting in a cube, all of a sudden you're like, but no, I'm a big talent, man. I mean, I met Burt Reynolds. No, you can't put me in. You can't put baby in the corner.
No.
And they're like, but yeah, we can. Watch this.
Yeah, they got, if you're on a morning show, it's your only chance. If you're doing middays, even afternoons, they ride you pretty tight. As long as you have ratings in the morning show, you still have a little FU power. But it got to the point that they were like, don't talk about politics. Don't talk about this. Don't talk about that. And it's like, damn, it got tough. And then I got in trouble for a joke I told on the regular guys on a different morning show on the same radio station, now a different company owning it. And I'm fired. And then locally, to get my job back out of New York, and they're like, well, make an example of him. 10 days suspension. They wanted me to do community service. I told them to pound sand because I did a Michael Jackson
For a
joke.
joke?
All I did was say, I can say it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, I was
We're not getting
curious.
canceled. I
All
mean,
right.
we've already done it.
This is the joke that got me in trouble. So basically I said, look, I don't think Michael Jackson was all touchy-feely with kids. I think he was a kid at heart, very wealthy. He liked to talk like a kid, play with kids. He liked to wear pajamas and have kids sleep with him. He just had that inside because life probably for him stopped at 5 or 6 when his father all of a sudden just made him a rock star. You know, so I was defending Michael. Then I said, but if it's true, you know, I've got a kid. I could drop him off there, spend a couple of weekends, and if something happens, well, we never have to work again, you know, and I'm sure the lawsuit will provide some really good counseling, and we'll get through it as a family.
Oh, come on. That's nothing. That's an easy one, man.
That got
Come
you
on. That's
10 days.
community service.
One dude called in who had gone to touchy-feely camp, and I guess he had been through something. And he's like, this is what happened to me. I was 5, 6 years old and I had an adult, and I'm going to call this group, this group, this group, this group, and we're going to show up. And they freaked. And all it was, I found out later from our producer, goes, that guy hates you. He writes stuff about you all the time. He just finally, you landed in his backyard. So that's when I knew corporate stunk, and I was loyal. And those of your listeners right now that have worked in the corporate sector, I'm the guy that if you came to me and said, hey, you know what, we can't, this is what you deserve, but we need to do this because you know what, this is what we need for the company. You know what, we're going to get a vehicle. Can you do this one for free? Can you endorse I was always yes. Team player. Thought we were building something.
Yeah, you'll get taken care of eventually.
right.
Yeah. No, they yanked the rug out from under me. Everybody thought that I had gotten money, and I'm like, no, they fired me at the end of a 3-year deal. A month early, it said 0 severance. I was the biggest money maker at Cumulus. Nobody would tell you different from anybody you talk to at the country stations or even the Burt Show. And I got nothing. It was a rug pull for me. And then they want to hold a non-compete. I'm like, wait, you blew me out, gave me no money, and you turned Rock 100.5 back into 99X, and I can't go to work. And they had me on. It was brutal. So I said, never again. I'm in business for myself from here on out.
So here we go. And that's the thing, you know, I think a lot of people go, I choose to go into business. But as we've had so many people on the podcast talking about, you don't always choose it.
No.
It kind of chooses you.
That's
and
right.
you decide, you know what? I want to see if I got it. I want to count on me. You know what? I'm not going to count on somebody else to go in there and tell my bosses that, hey, really, Steve is a good guy. He will do the right thing. And, hey, man, tell him how good I am. Tell him how good I am. Now you're like, no, I'm going to bet on me, man. I'm going to start betting on me. I'm going to do it. So now you got to go, all right, well, now what? So now what?
Now what is tough, and now what is really tough when you have a corporate father-in-law that's a vice president for Georgia Pacific, and you have a wife that thinks like him to that degree. So they're like, wait, you don't have a job? There's no benefits? There's nothing. Wait, what about insurance? Well, guess what? We have catastrophic insurance, and we've got like $12,000 deductibles. We're never going to hit. And as a family, we're like 90 grand. We need to be in a accident where all of our bones are broken. And Jen maybe will spend the 90, but somebody's going to have a nasty disease, then maybe. So it's just messed up. And she freaks out. But then you're like, okay, I put some money in the bank, but I owned a bar. It cost me almost, that cost me 400 grand. And then you look at what you made and you're like, okay, I got this amount of money from this and my HSA. And all right, next thing you know, wow, whittled through that 18 grand on HSA. And you're like, I haven't put money in it because I can't. And, you realize your income's at a third. And that's when you have to look and you have to be very strong. But what I'm telling my wife, as I said, the pressure from you or my father-in-law or anybody else is only trying to help. It just messes you up. But when you do, at least what I do, and maybe others, if you're thinking about a podcast, you're thinking of an angle, and you're trying to figure out what an algorithm is from YouTube to whatever you're doing, you are in creative mode. And creative mode looks sometimes like you're goofing off. It's like the person goes, no, I'm going to do a documentary on Westerns, so I need to watch about 100 Westerns, baby. Just leave me alone. I'm watching movies. And it looks like you're goofing off, but you're not. So I'm 2 years into that. Every year's gotten better on income, and now some of the things are coming together. So I think next year will be a great year, but there's no doubt I'm tight. I've never been tight before, not in 25 years, 30 years.
Right. So let's talk about this one. Were you always would you say I'm optimistic or pessimistic?
Optimistic.
Always have been. True trait of an entrepreneur.
That glass is full, even if it's half full, it's full. I will BS it for myself. Yeah, and I get called a dreamer by some people. I've been called that, but I'm always that guy.
All right. Would you say put up against an obstacle like somebody's going to shoot you with a BB? Are you a problem solver?
Yes, you're a problem solver. Yes, I am.
I think we figured that out, didn't we?
I'm going to stay still to the last second. I'm going to move real quick so it doesn't hit me where he's trying to hit me. Or because he's an idiot, I'm going to draw a face on the back of my calf because I'd rather get shot there than somewhere else. We just said no headshots. But you're right. It was crazy doing those kind of things. And then you realize that through that, the two hosts, just really one's trying to keep you down. What the hosts don't realize in radio, and this is in a lot of things, whoever's in charge, they think that they're the focus. They think they're everything. And I don't think it's narcissism as much as it's just they're broken and this is their chance. But by dogging somebody or going after somebody or putting somebody else through it, I'm not going to go interview this actor. You know what, Steve, go down, talk to Kevin Costner. You do the interview. Or Jack Nicklaus is in town. You go talk to him. Well, I go do it, and you have fun beating me up on the interview on where I maybe made a mistake or something stupid I said. But I'm the one that took a picture. I'm the one that met him. I'm the one that got the interview. And what they did is they really made me the number one guy. And in my second morning show, same kind of guy, he did the same thing again. And it's just like, that's what built my career. So I never had to be in charge. For the first time now on a morning show, I'm in charge. And I'm trying to still host like a fun guy, and not try to, unless I'm talking, we lose. That's not my attitude. It's basically on what reaction can I get from the audience?
So what I took from that, Alan, is keep on doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? What?
Mhm.
That bad?
It's like-
That bad? No. What?
Is Chris feeling this as Steve's talking? I mean,
Alan, does that bother you? Do you think Chris talks too much, Alan? Let's look at your podcast.
yeah,
I mean, you're
what
both-
is the word count
Wait,
differential?
I don't know. Let's see. Hang on a minute. Hey, Alan, what'd you say?
Hey,
Oh, wait,
hey,
Alan,
this-
yeah.
So don't you hate the mute button? I've had that pressed on me a couple of times. That sucks. The old cough button. Don't do that.
But that's a great play. You just talked about, this guy's putting you down, knocking you down, but you're out there. I'm optimistic. I'm gonna go make this thing happen.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. Anybody would think it bothered
I
me.
listen.
Well, see,
Yeah.
and I can tell you, and it's weird because now I guess I will say something nice about myself. 9 out of 10 listeners told me the same thing. And now there were people out there that identified more with them, whether it's the type of person or they thought that they were very smart and brilliant, and they had their fan base, which was enough for them. But 9 out of 10 definitely liked me. They were listening like, what's he going to do or say next? So I came in unpredictable.
That was the Howard Stern thing, right? Back
Yeah.
to the movie. Why do people listen? Because they want to hear what he's going to say next. And that's why I used to listen to 96 Rock when I got here, because I wanted to hear what was going to happen next. And Steve, And when he told us, oh yeah, they used to shoot me with a BB gun if I got the wrong answer.
I mean,
I'm
they
like,
were
"That's
setting
a
up at the
bitch." He goes,
soft
"No."
parlors
Yeah.
around the state.
I had a budget. I'll go ahead and call them out because that company's no longer in business. $180 a week, massage parlor review budget.
Nice.
Anything over that is on you. Okay.
All
Guess
right.
what? I can stop at third base if I need to. Or I'll save up 2 weeks for a home run.
Hey, yeah, come on, that's a straight line.
Yeah, come on.
All right, so you're out there, you're trying a couple things, and
Mhm.
you and I talked about this, and so let's talk about, you're gonna see which one of these things hits, and as a businessman, I was like, okay, so he's got his voice talent, he knows how to do radio, obviously knows how to interview people, has access to people, so there's a radio option,
Sure.
right? I can go do local shows and do that and make some money on that one, maybe, but then.
Or do I become a positive motivator, go out and do the corporate thing and say, here's what you need to do to get fired up. This is all you got to do. You got to wake up, you got to look in the mirror and say, I'm the one. I love how these guys say, they all come up with their own.
I don't think
that was pretty good.
Actually, he'd be better than half the ones. We
Yeah.
do.
I know.
95%.
I should, that's probably what I should be doing.
But you got the third thing, and then you said, "Man, I really love bourbon." And
I
we
do.
all know on this show.
We're drinking it right now. Are we allowed to say that, Alan? Is your
Yeah,
wife
yeah.
listening? Or you?
She knows.
Okay, good.
She is. She knows. And let's just skip over that heart attack thing. Let's keep going.
Let the heart attack go. And Chris, who am I hearing upstairs from our lovely home here?
Yeah.
As I look out at your swimming pool with waterfalls, and and those are leather. I know that's not pleather, those chairs.
That's
So
true.
I'm complimenting you and your bar, but who's moving around upstairs?
Yeah, that's my wife, who's not gonna listen to one second of this. Has not listened to one, not even 2 seconds.
It's a
of
4-year anniversary of not listening for her.
That's fine.
Guess what? My wife is the same. When I was on the radio, they all listened because they were afraid, especially when I was dating her, when we were getting married, and even to the kids. Everybody listened. The second I got on a station where there's smaller signals and you could outdrive it, but all you got to do is put it in this is the future of the world. I'm on my Fox FM. All you got to do is lock that in on Apple. They're getting it on Google and Android. And all you do is just hit it in your car or wherever you are. And you can hear me anywhere in the country, 6 to 10 a.m. But people still, if they can't hit it on the radio, they don't want to mess with it. At least with my family, none of them listen to me anymore. You know more about what I say, both of you, than they do now. But there was a time where they did. So you're right. It's gotten weird. So now let's talk about it more.
That's right.
I'm like, you're not going to listen? I'm going to vent. It makes me feel better.
Between her and my daughter, yeah. they
I
get a
can
lot of
only
insight.
imagine what his future father-in-law was thinking. Because you said he was the CEO
Well,
of what? Like,
He's at Georgia Pacific, and the dude is 4.5 years older than me. And he's like, oh my God, my daughter's bringing a dude in with a ponytail. It looks like he works in strip clubs as a DJ. And I sent her to Auburn. Not like my other 2 daughters that were very smart and got into Georgia easily and cheered for Georgia. And I spent $40,000 on their education. I dropped $160 on my oldest daughter, who was dating the perfect frat guy, who had family in London and family here. And no, she walks from him and gets suckered into this dude's personality. And he's 22 years older than her. And only thing that guy ever said, and I respect him for it, he said, are you okay living the last 20 years of your life alone? That's all he ever said. That's it.
wow.
Yeah. And that was it. But you know what? You talk about business.
That was like last ditch.
If there's another line I'm gonna use when my daughter brings some dude home.
Like an older guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anybody, I would just say, hey, look, that's what he told your daughter.
I mean, it was a good,
Your daughter
it was a good.
Yeah, that's what he told her. He had that conversation.
I thought he had that with you. But
No, and he had it in front of me.
Bitch.
No, he had it in front of me to her, and I was like, well, yeah, you're right. So then, what do I say to that as a guy that's quick on his feet? I just went, yeah, you know what? We could have 2 kids, and she could get terminally ill or be in a car accident and pass, and I lived at 99, and I'm dealing with everything.
Ooh, I would have gone the other way. I would have said, I was absolutely, and I hope sugar daddy number 2 is good.
Well, I told her,
No, that's wrong.
I'm like, as long as you take me out with no pain, I'm okay with it.
That's right, huh? You know what? Let's have a pact, right? Little pinky swear.
Yeah.
She ain't gonna listen to this.
Cheers.
And the Georgia Pacific guy who never started his own business,
No.
never took the lead.
No.
Has no idea what he's
No.
doing right now.
No.
And shit.
He got out of college into this, and this, and he just crushed it on, what's that stock that everybody invested in and I didn't, Nvidia? Is that it?
Yeah.
Damn it. Sorry, I didn't have any of that. Now, we got the same guy that looks at who I sent him two. Nobody said anything to me about NVIDIA, but he owns some. He crunched. So yeah, now he's doing what you're doing. He's moving across the street into the old gated community.
That's right. Well, you know what? You won't be able to find him either because you won't be able to find him.
No, I can't get to you. You got a watchdog out there.
That's right, baby. That's
He
what
even
I'm
told me
saying.
don't park in his driveway. I'm like, he already told me not to. I know.
Steve, she actually told me to go to the back gate.
That was so
Yeah.
funny.
Oh, now that's not nice.
That's after 3.5 years.
Yeah, that's right.
That's not nice.
That's not nice. And I'm like,
Nobody gives Alan the back gate.
no.
Can you believe that?
Hell, it doesn't do back gate. Baby doesn't.
Like, maybe I need to wash my truck.
Oh my God.
Yeah, me too. I drove it in the truck. I don't think the chick likes trucks.
No, I know you hit the age difference and that's one thing.
That-
but
that was
the other
really-
part, there's a bigger one though.
Mhm.
And so now you're on your own.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, let me see your W-2.
Oh.
You don't want to see my W-2 because
Mhm.
guess what? I don't got one.
No.
So I have a W-2. And my wife.
How do you have one?
Because with my company, I draw a salary because we're,
Uh-huh.
as an S corp at this point, I've started to draw a salary.
That's how you do it, Alan.
That's right.
Damn it.
But to look, my wife looks
It
at
only
that
took
W-2 and
17
goes,
years to figure it out.
yeah. And she goes, wow, you don't make any money. I'm like, oh, thank you. And she goes, I looked at your W-2. I'm like, honey, this isn't like the
Yeah.
W-2s that we had in the corporate world.
No.
I said,
No.
this is a little bit different, guys. Wink, wink, nudge.
You
nudge.
remember the vows, richer, poorer, better, worse? I mean, come on.
Dude, at one point,
I thought I wanted to prove the love. We're doubling down on all the bad stuff.
yeah.
I'm like, guess what? I'm
It's just,
poor.
it's just a test. Honey.
Yeah. And guess what? I'm thinking about getting sick for like 2 years of doing nothing.
You know,
And then I'll be cured all of a sudden. I won't lie, you know.
and then you talk about why you own your own business. And then we'll look at, who's been using all the travel rewards this year. Not Chris. Yeah,
Dude, tell me about it. My
Police,
wife is trying
Dallas,
to.
LA,
Where?
Phoenix,
Oh,
New York.
Now,
Chicago.
hold on a second.
That's a lot of
Most
travel.
the 4 years, it's like, where's Big Daddy been this week? And he's like, oh, I gotta tell you, I was,
Well, and-
I was in Vegas, I was in Barcelona. I mean,
Well, Steve and I just shared a place. I mean, he just came back from Kiowa,
Kiowa.
which is another big daddy, big roller place.
Uh,
You tell everybody in Atlanta I went to Kiowa, and when they say, I don't know, you're like, I don't need to talk to you anymore.
No, no.
Moving on.
no, I had several people post up a picture, go, where are you? I go, if you don't recognize that flag from the fact they have a tournament there every 2 years, then we're not talking. Who was that? Somebody come down?
No, I'm saluting right there.
Salute me. I was about to say, I want to meet people.
No.
I love gas. I love doing radio in front of gas. Dude, you can bring your neighbors in here. We'll go off. But no, no, I love it. But I get what you're saying. And like, you know, the one thing that I cannot let go, and it's probably attitude status. She took my Harley. She took my Shelby. She made me sell all my toys, my dirt bike, everything that either I could get hurt on or was worth money to live up in Milton. So we're here. I'm on the golf course. I gave her the lot. You know, we're on the right lot, you know. And as my mother-in-law put it when she looked at the house, she goes, you know what? This house has good bones. There's so much you could do with it. I'm living in an S box and you're praying to God I can redo every room in this house.
That's what I want to hear is, that's the trustedtoolbox.com. Trustedtoolbox.com for all your home repair and remodeling needs. Thank you, Steve. But
I know your crew could help me. Dude, I like guys like you than the
You
big
know what we
companies.
need to do?
Make your mother-in-law's dreams come true, Chris.
well,
The trusted toolbox.
I've listened to Steve, you know, we talked to Steve, I've been on his podcast, you and I met him at Beach and Party, which again, Beach is the ultimate connector. You know, I had him on the other radio show I do here locally,
Yeah.
and he is an amazing wealth of information, by the way, in mortgages. Steve Beacham, Hometown Realty.
I love him.
Hometown Mortgages.
We tried to talk about mortgages when he was on the pod, but he's like, rates suck, let's talk about something else.
I know,
Let's
and I'm
talk
like,
about bourbon.
You drive a hometown mortgage vehicle everywhere you go. He's got that old red truck, but you're right. He's solid. He's a connector. He loves doing for the community, and I dig that.
Yeah, he's doing some great stuff in Alpharetta, the town of Alpharetta, bringing in shows, bringing in the stuff. So he's doing a great job. But this is the Steve Beacham podcast. You know what? But
No, but he's the one that brought us together because I got to chat with y'all both that night, and I walked away going, that was worth going.
Yeah, yeah, man. No, it was great, Kev.
Y'all, hey, dude, y'all, you two, and then the other guy that writes books, Rick.
Coleman.
Coleman.
Ricky Coleman. We had him on too. Yeah.
Those y'all were my highlight. You three, and I loved it. And I loved the conversation. I loved the story on how you put your ass out there the same way I'm doing, and you know, and you guys are doing it. But there's something to be said. if you can deliver, and I think as long as you do a good job and you instill into your employees to do a good job, then you're good. And for me, with like the bourbon thing, the Yeah Come On Bourbon, they came to me at Legends, which is out of Cumming, Georgia, and they're like, "Hey, we'll do it. Do you want to do it?" I'm like, "Yeah." Then I find out here 3 years into it, now going in the 4th year, that Atlanta Beverage was like, "Yeah, you get Steve, an air personality, somebody that can help push to help you with your brands." Now we're talking. Turned out mine tasted better than maybe anything else, especially on price point. And there was a jealousy behind my back. I wasn't being pushed. I was given a deal that was basically the good old boy, like $500 a pallet when we sell it. And we have this extra amount of money that we'll put in marketing or advertising. And if we need to draw from it personally, or we want to pay ourselves more, we can. I never saw that money. And I was like, okay. And I had an out clause. So I'm like, I want to thank Legends for doing such a great job at making my bourbon and doing a fantastic job. That for me, is that me or you? Because that is tacky. I thought I cut my phone off. Is that you, Alan?
No, it's
No,
me.
it's me.
Who's
You know what? I know.
Marysville, Georgia. Who the hell do I know there? Nobody.
Here's a guy who's been in this media for
Yeah, I know it.
years.
And that's what I do. That's a Southside Steveism. I'm the one that's gonna leave their phone on to get yelled at. And you in your car are laughing going, that dude still hadn't learned. I still haven't. Yeah.
Tell me what's going on with the bourbon.
Yeah, so the bourbon
Yeah,
thing now is I yanked it from, I didn't yank it. I just told Legends, I want to have more of a role in it. And I think rather just messing around with it, I really want to go after it. So I'm talking to several distilleries now, and it's just getting the taste profile right. I've got another bottle on the way in from a great group called Second City. They're in Augusta and they're in South Carolina, and they went to UGA and listened to me, and they're helping. And there's Short Barrels out there and a few other people that I'm like, all right, let's just see what somebody can do and then go back into it. And then it's like, you get your deck together, which in advertising means basically everything, your whole plans for the business, everything from how you're going to advertise it to how you're going to manufacture it. And you've got to figure in there money and what you think is going to come in and do an investor pitch. And I've got a few people that are interested, and I just want to get the investor pitch down.
This is so interesting. I mean, there's so many things. I mean, it's an entrepreneurial story, but there's a couple of things that are really different. One is he's got a lot of avenues. He's got a lot of verticals that he can play with. Which one do you go for?
Mhm.
And here, instead of I've got this recipe, how do I get it out there? He's got a brand. And then how do I backfill the recipe?
Right.
So that then we can take it to market. What an interesting.
Yeah.
It really is. And
Right.
to me, it's the smoothest, most affordable 80 proof in the market. And that's what I want, something smooth that you don't have to mix, that you can drink it on the rocks or you can drink it straight up. And I'm doing it for the white collar, blue collar guy, that digs it, works hard and buys a bottle too. But the no collar guy really has appreciation for it too, because he may only get a bottle every 2 weeks. And I'm his guy, and he's going to be drinking what would be a $60 to $70 bottle, and I'm selling it mid-30s.
So I love his story there, but what I really love is that he's got the passion to do this. But let's go back to the branding and advertising part of this, because you're right. He's got a number of verticals. He's got to figure out which one's going to work for him. Because at the end of the day, as I just had somebody tell me, "Hey man, are you making any money at that?" I'm like, "No, not really." "Then why you keep doing it?" I'm like, "Well, I have an ego. I have an ego. I blew it, dude." So I love this because I think, personally, I think the Yeah Come On Bourbon, while it's good, it is very good. But the story and the guy pitching it here locally, because when we're drinking
100%.
bourbon, we want to talk about the story. We want to talk about Uncle Nearest, right? We want to talk about the bourbon trail going up there that you've done.
Or the one that's got the 9/11 here,
Yeah, we had the, oh gosh, yeah, I know. Not Horseshoe, it's,
soldier.
Horse Soldier, that's right.
Wow.
Got a great story.
Yeah.
So the story, so when we're drinking a bourbon, you can tell a story over the bourbon. Then you have community, you have connection. And then people go, "Hey, maybe this bourbon's the best."
You know what I was.
Well, maybe I don't even know what bourbon's supposed to taste like, but I love the connection. I love the story. This Steve Rickman's got this thing called the Yeah Come On Bourbon, and he's got a story about how he put it together and why he wants to have the no collar guy be able to drink it. I mean, that's a story, right?
When I was on the bourbon trail, one of the tour guides said, bourbon is the extension of a good conversation.
I don't think I've ever heard that, but I like that.
Yeah, just shut off your phone,
Yeah.
shut off the TV.
Which I did.
Shut off
It's
the
straight
radio.
off.
Oh, yeah, shut
Thank
off.
you. I apologize,
Yeah.
Alan.
Don't
Thanks for
shut off
the
your
bundle.
phone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was good.
I know what he meant.
Yeah,
Chris,
yeah.
Chris already kicked get on his phone
I
call.
did too.
But
I just texted him, I'm like, hey, we're not
Hey,
gonna shut up.
that's it. And that's something. I'm like, sorry, man. But you're right, and it is the story. It's the whole reason I even did the bar. It was the Smokey and the Bandit bar, and people don't realize that it was all there. If you went there in those first 2 years, 08 to 10, you saw it. You saw there was only Coors Light allowed on one, or Coors banquet on one side of the bar. Couldn't get it on the Georgia side. You saw the awning, and it looked a little, kind of Okefenokee, Georgia, with the old tag, and the Texas side had old Texas pictures. And anybody famous came in, and the Jack Daniels statue, I had both NASCAR drivers sign it. There was a lot going on. And and I had the movie playing. I had the most attractive girls ever. And I had them coming out of Buckhead, and they were dancing on the bar, and wives started getting pissed. So I ran in, I was in the wrong place. McDonough, no offense, it was not the best place for me to start.
So let's go back to that bar, because you did take an entrepreneurial dip, but you were still, it's kind of your side hustle, right?
It was fun, but to run a bar and do mornings on a show, and that's what people don't realize. And to anybody out there that's radio personalities, trust me, if you're not getting it done, if you're not entertaining, if you're not affecting ratings or bringing in revenue, you are gone. So when I'm working with two guys that are as intelligent as Larry and Eric and fast, they're fast thinkers. Make no mistake about it, regardless of how they treated people, they're quick. And to find your edge and survive and build a brand like Yeah Come On, or any of the other, the palm tree thing where I would have to draw palm trees. I mean, there's certain little things that I started that just kept reinventing itself, and then you earn it, and you realize I'm in a quick room, I've earned this, and it's tough. Anybody, I mean, it's not for the faint of heart. There's no doubt. There is no job security other than that contract, but they can get out of that contract if they want.
So let's go to the bar.
Yeah, the bar's the thing. In my point to that, and I didn't finish, is because that pissed them off, because they're like, "What are you doing, man? You're here. We're at the top. You just," and I just threw it in their face. Go, you see your salary? Your salary. This is mine, and you're well aware of it. And I'm busting my ass to get close to your salary, doing 4 gigs a week. Guess what? I have every right to capitalize on what I do and do what I do to do what you do and get what you get. You're not fighting for me. You're not going in there saying, hey, we all three need to make the same. So that was my angle. But running a bar is so hard when you're getting phone calls when they're closing up at 2 a.m. Your alarm's going off at 4:30, and then somebody lets you know that something horrible happened, that there was a fight, or this girl's going to sue because she weighs 300 pounds and she jumped off our stage, which you're not supposed to jump off of in 6-inch heels, and she broke her ankle, and now I got to pay for it. What I got to pay for you being a dumbass? Who jumps off a foot? Then you got to make sure your stage was the right height where you can't get sued. And it's just like the sue thing is what got me. But running a bar and just the actual stress of 5 years and doing a morning show is tough. I do think a bar can be successful, but you got to be there. And a morning show can be successful because even when I was tired, I had stories to tell about my bar. Whatever had happened that night, or when I was down there, and all they were looking at was funny content. But it's stressful.
It is. Run the business, even if it's a side hustle, because you had a salary. Even if the thing didn't work, you're all right? So people talk about that with side hustles, but you just hit on the big thing. It is hard. It is taxing, and it's not for the faint of heart. You've got to be able to problem solve. And guess what? If you thought you were working hard at your business, you're not just doubling up. And I don't think there's enough hours in the day sometimes with some people side hustle and the idea that they're trying to do. But they got to watch it.
The name of the bar was Smokey and the Bandit.
No, Southside Steve's.
Southside.
Are you kidding me, Alan?
I was gonna say, how'd you get that name?
No, Southside Steve's. No, but it was a Smokey and the Bandit theme bar. And Burt Reynolds knew about it. When I met him, he knew about it. We had a conversation. He had friends in the area. Burt was so thick in Atlanta, especially in the 70s and 80s. A lot of people knew him. And the word got out what I was doing, and he loved it. I even had, what was the other guy that sings this song? Jerry Reed. Jerry Reed's daughter came and visited at the bar.
East on the bound.
Yeah,
Come on, man. I can't sing. Let's go. All right, so the bar ended up failing.
It did. It did. You know what? It failed because of community, and sometimes you don't understand the dynamics. City councilmen were telling me I couldn't use a a 7,000 square foot wooden deck with a bar. They were saying the license wasn't there for it and I couldn't get it. Turns out the ex-owner who was trying to get the building back, his friends were on the council. And then I get that overturned, but I got a guy that knows everybody down there, but he's a little crooked and his wife does the books and now I know I'm being stolen from, but the bar's open. And it's just one of those things. And then we do what every bad person does is you see what your crowd's like and you see the other people aren't coming. The wives won't let the good old boys come because they're afraid they're going to have sex with one of my waitresses. I'm like, if your marriage is that weak, really, is that my problem? You know, but and then you turn it into the last year and a half hip hop bar. Now that's a win, and that's when everything went to hell. And I'm just like, we're done. You people, I find out there's videos with 2 Chainz and all these other people being filmed in my bar when I didn't even know it. And then I find out all my managers are having after parties, drinking my liquor, and the food is going to all the single guys. And then I see bands from my cash. And I wonder why my assistant manager has a brand new flat screen in his house, and I know what I'm paying him. And you're like, I gotta end this. Everybody's ripping me off. And then if you say anything, it's like they want to schedule a walkout, or somebody wants to kick your ass.
You're the asshole.
Or yeah, I'm instantly the jerk. And they say horrible things about me down there still, the people that work for me. I'm like, you'll never know how good I was and how bad you were to me. You know, and you bring friends in thinking they can help. Local friends that, you know, weren't meeting. They were living a hard life. You know, I had a lot of friends, blue collar friends, and I'm bringing them in, trying to make them some extra cash, and then they're on the take. And you're like, oh my God. And it hurt to close it, but I closed it because I didn't want to be anyone's meal ticket, and I didn't want to be a source of people that were looking for a quick way out. Lawsuits kill bars, especially if you have it just depends on where it is, but everybody was looking to sue for something. It's like, I think people spilled their own water, to slip and fell, just to say it was my fault. You know, that honest to God happened. And it's hard to say that now. It's easier to say it now than 2013 when I was on a huge stick and it was fresh. Then people get upset, but I think it's 2025 and I can say it. So your podcast is now the place I'm choosing to say a little bit.
I love this. You know, statute of limitations are gone. Take that, shameless.
It's your 4-year anniversary, and I am sitting with.
We're dropping some bombs on
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's a bomb.
Witness protection program people on here. Now we got people calling out people. I think you just put water in there and slip by yourself. That's the fault. Yeah, you did. Morgan, this, that, the other, that.
Yeah.
All that shit.
I'm tired of hearing from Morgan. I had a relationship with him. I'm like, can I send you a case? You try to sue me every other week. But you know what? I think it's because I feel safe here because it's an gated community.
You know,
and once you're in, then you know nobody else can get it. Because how hard it was for you to get it.
Yeah, I mean, I was supposed to be here and it was hard to get in this podcast.
Right? So you can say anything you want, nobody's gonna come get you. That's why we got Mafia.
No, we can't leave though, Chris.
We can't, Chris. Now I can't. Everything I've said now will come back and haunt me when I get on the open road.
I'll put the detail on. I'm gonna send a couple of guys with you on the way. Okay? So don't worry about that black.
That's a nice couch right there.
You can see it. You got the Allen bedroom here in the back.
No, Alan will get a bedroom. I'll take the couch because I want to be near TV. We're fine. I'll call my wife. I'll see you in a year. I'm under protection.
And if you have to leave, don't worry about that black Suburban behind you with everything blacked out. And it doesn't have a license plate. You're fine. It's all good. So, Steve, you got a lot in front of you, though, man. I mean, you got a lot of gusto.
I do.
You know what's going on. So
it takes energy, and I got a 5-year and an 8-year-old, and that's the grind. I mean, I love them, and I want to be around them, and I'm trying to be around them because doing what you want to do, you and I, and anybody listening, you know, which is what your podcast is about. You set your own hours. You don't have to deal with corporate hours. And if you want to take a vacation, you don't have to ask anybody. You're like, is it the right thing to do? But I can do what I want.
that's another one that I think I felt for the first time ever when I started my business that my time became mine. Now I worked more than I ever worked in my life, and I worked very hard, and I know Alan did as well. But I started to become not Mr. Third Inning at the baseball games. I became the coach. I didn't become the guy you never saw at school because unless again once the kids had to get called in at school, once a quarter I had to go in and see me at school, dropping the kids off and going in and making sure that the
And you're like, honey, does that count?
you know, I was actually making sure that
I mean, I'm taking part. I dropped them.
I dropped them.
I took them.
Oh, it was a day off. Oh,
But
Oh,
there weren't. So I need to go. How long do you think they've been there by
President's
themselves?
That's a good one. President's Day. Yeah, who knew? I forgot all about that. And I came out of banking. I was like, oh man, I dropped them. I went and she goes, no, they're not working. I'm like, oh, yeah, right. I'll be right back. No, but I also got to see I get to see the teachers face to face, eye to eye, and I got to stand up instead of them putting them in those little chairs and let me know how bad of a dad I was. I get to stand and see them eye to eye, baby.
Yeah,
That's
I love it.
Oh, I love
I
it.
love it.
All right. So we got the Yeah Come On Bourbon. We
Yeah.
got the My Fox FM. How can people find you? Let's get into this stuff because we're almost done.
Yeah, man, for me, it is tough because I try to make it easy. So on Facebook, it's just Southside Steve Rickman or Steve Rickman, but I'm maxed out because they give you like 5,000 people. So, but Southside Steve is what they call a fan page, and I got into that. And Instagram, it's Steve Rickman. And then on Twitter, which is now X, I have everything. I have the Yeah Come On Bourbon. I've got the Southside Ride, which is the name of my morning show. And then I also have Steve Rickman on that, or Southside Steve. You can find them all, but it's all right there. And that's a good way to follow because I post on all. So it's a tedious job. You do something, you know, I post here, Instagram, or I can share Instagram, but no, I can't do this, can't do that. And then there's the Yet Come On Show podcast, which you can find on YouTube. That's where I'd like for you to watch it. You can get it wherever you get yours, but that's a number I can see, and YouTube's cool. And if I can just get to 10,000, which I'm there with listeners, but I'm not there with YouTube by any means.
I know.
Yeah.
Did you mute yourself?
I muted myself.
You were trying to mute me and you muted yourself.
Yeah, that was a mismute.
No, it was a mismute, but I will tell you, and it's funny.
For you, Alan.
I just put a replay up on TikTok. Y'all are a mess. You hating on yourself. I did that, Alan. It's really nice. I can't do that. I love myself too much. I really do. I can't hate on me. I respect your ability to do that now. But if you go to TikTok, I just got one right now. It's got about 32,000 views just in 24 hours. But it's a replay. People think it happened to me. I pump diesel gas in my diesel tank at BP because the color green screwed me up, and it was true as hell. And everybody think, didn't you do that a couple of years ago? I'm like, no, same story. I just reposted it, and it's just to get views. Sometimes I hate playing that game, and I don't really want to play the game. But it just helps as far as monetizing. So I feel like all the crazy stuff I did that you guys know, now people are doing that. And it's Daniel Tosh or these other people that are crunching. But imagine me doing it in my stall now if it was new on the radio, like it was 20 years ago. So all I'm trying to do is use history. I'm trying to repeat things and do things and just not be creepy. I colored my hair today. It was very gray until I saw you guys. And I took pictures of me doing it because I'm not faking it. I'm letting you know I'm doing it. But it's just if you perceive me in my mid 40s due to my energy and how I look, then I'm not as creepy as if I was doing it, you know, with a full head of gray. You know what I mean? So that's part of the game too, appearance and what you want to do. It's the appearance of looking younger, having that energy. Yeah, this is me. It's me. Don't freak out, guys. I just want to show y'all what I did today. But I want people to follow me there.
Alan and I shouldn't be shaving our heads for the little Friar Tuck look.
No. See, look,
we have full head of hair.
You look creepy. That's what I heard.
That's right. So
no, you look creepy if you have the gray hair and you're doing stuff. People that shake their heads, you're great. That's Jason Statham stuff, man. You look great.
That's you, Ellen.
No, my brother shaved his head and he's like, smartest thing I ever did. I don't have to worry about it. It's cool and you're timeless.
Yeah.
You're timeless. Hair tells a story.
That's true.
It does. It says I'm old or I'm fighting it and I'm shallow.
I'm all the above. And that's enough. Guys, this has been a great episode. If you can learn something, man, that's on you. I hope you guys had a good time driving around in your truck, doing your walk, doing whatever you got to do. Actually, I've heard that people are actually listening to us trying to work out. I'm like, that's not
what?
Right. Don't do that.
No.
Dude, go ahead banging music.
Those are Australian.
I'm talking 96. I know.
Oh, by the way, I do have to make money. So my Fox FM, please follow some of that. Just go to your Apple phone, my-fox-fm. The show's the Southside Ride at southsideride.com. All of it's posted. We got 3 national bits on there. I'm pretty proud. Right now, I'm kicking corporate radio in the nuts. And everybody knows it because they're all my friends. And, you know, it's good times. I obey the FCC, not corporate woke rules. That's a reason to listen to me.
There you go. You want to kick corporate in the nuts? Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
My-fox-fm. We'll put that in the show notes. Go kick some corporate nuts. Go out there, make it happen. Go make some money. Go make it happen for you and your family.
Yeah.
Don't forget, qualifiedadvocates.com. They sponsored us, but hit me up, Chris, Trust Toolbox, because I got another person coming into the studio next week. Here we
Nice.
go, baby. We gotta go.
Cheers, everybody.